More than 10,000 people have marched to Nice to protest against the G20 summit that'll kick off Thursday further down the coast in Cannes. The crowds, angered by the current financial system and reinforced by the global Occupy movement, demanded governments focus more on people rather than corporations. As RT's Daniel Bushell reports, this time world leaders will find it tough to ignore the outcry.
G20 host France says it wants this summit on its picturesque Mediterranean coast to reflect the importance of emerging nations in the world. But as financial crisis deepens in both the US and European Union, economists spot self-interest behind that noble claim.
The pledge to involve more rising economies is really to try to convince those rising economies to put money on the table, to bail out the unsustainable currency union of Europe in the first place.
Developing countries which saw the West quick to back civil unrest among their population, they now see those same Western countries coming down hard on public movements in their own backyard. Anti-war activists cry double standards.
The primary powers within the G20, the United States, Germany, Britain, and France, the real dominant economic and military powers, they want to show a world order, a system of states that still has stability, when in fact there isn't stability. This summit is an attempt to put a shiny face on what is really a failed system.
There's a scene of chaos, not just from the side of protesters, but also from the police, because there's helicopters overhead at the moment. You can hear police sirens, and also there's police really have mounted this military-style operation to shut down and stop any of the protesters going where they don't want them to go. One former diplomat says Western leaders can't continue to just block out criticism.
This whole idea that they can simply ignore popular protests against what's happening could come back to bite the leaders of the G7 and the G20.
Some add this protest different from summits of the past, with Belgium's Dexia the latest Western bank to get bailed out with public money. Growing numbers here worry there's something fundamentally wrong with the current setup.
We have basically a financial system where corporations and financial institutions are able to write themselves favorable legislation, quid pro quo, via corporate lobbyists.
Police roadblocks bar demonstrators getting from Nice to the nearby town of Cannes, where the G20 takes place. But it's becoming ever harder to stop world leaders hearing the voices of protest. Daniel Bushell, RT, in Nice, France.